Welcome to Avini Vibes. Tonight is November 16th, 2023. I'm your host, Christine Rolando, with co-host Carol Witt. There she is. And we're fortunate to have a special guest in the house tonight, Chip Littlejohn, with us always. And we're grateful for that. Lots of great people in the house tonight. Thank you for being here and taking the time to join us. You know, Avini Vibes is a place where we come together to learn, we come together to share, and learn about these amazing products that change lives everywhere. And we're excited to hear how it possibly has changed your life, or why you got involved with Avini, and why, what was your why are you here tonight, taking time out of your schedule. So we're grateful tonight for a very, very special guest, and she's calling all the way in from the other side of the country. We just had this conversation before we got started, from the big state of Texas. Dr. Nakita Warren is with us. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We are grateful that you're joining us, and we're looking forward to hearing your story, your testimonial, and your why. And before we do that, I just want to say this is a special week because it's Thanksgiving is coming up. So just keep in mind what you might be thankful for. And if you want to share a testimonial, or you have a question, if you wouldn't mind muting, and then just raise your hand and we'll get to you and we'll answer your questions. So with that, thank you, Nakita, again, Dr. Warren, for joining us. And please jump in and tell your story if you wouldn't mind.
No problem. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a joy to be here with our Avini family. My story is mostly about my family, because I got through Avini through my mom. And just to give you a little background, my mom had went on a vacation and we lived together in the same house. And she had gotten a package, and she called me. She was like, "Hey, did I get my package?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you got a package. We put it on your bed." Okay. So 2-3 weeks go by. She's like, "Is my package still on the bed?" I'm like, "What is up with this package?" She keep asking me about. "Yes, it's on the bed." She comes home. She goes straight in the room. She gets the package, and she's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "What is it?" "Oh, nothing. Carol just sent me something." I'm like, "Okay." So a week go by, and I'm just noticing a little thing. She's a little pep in her step. She's getting up and moving, and she's doing all these different things. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" "I'm not doing anything." And she's almost like, like she's hiding something a little bit. So one of the things is that she started speaking clearer, being a little bit things that what was left over from COVID. And so I was like, "Well, can I try? What are you doing?" She said, "I'm doing these drops and they're really good." And I said, can I try them?" And she said, "Oh no." "I only have a little bit left." And I'm like, "Okay, Mom." I'm like, "Okay." So I looked at her and I thought about it. I'm like, "What is this?" It's something. I just watched her. And her journey was kind of my inspiration, because to see her go from a little bit scared of of what the future hold, around age, and all of the stuff with COVID and the fog memory, to have her all of a sudden just be bright-eyed, bushy tail, and a slow thing, but over a month I was a drastic difference. And then she had this conversation about buying it, and I'm like, "Okay, you know what? Yeah, I want this, give it to me." I'm like, there's no sense in me trying to say no, so I bought it. And on top of that, when I started it, I started feeling well, all of that things, and my son, I said, if it's doing well for me, let me try it with him. I have a 13-year-old son who's really tall and very bright. And he doesn't take medicine, no vitamins, no anything. And he decided to try it. I said, "It doesn't taste anything." I give him about 5 drops, and he took it. Cool. And then came home next day, another 5 drops. Cool. Now I'm noticing something every day. This 13-year-old who's going through growing pains, he's 6'2", always want me to massage him, massage his ankles, massage his back, calf muscles. And for 4 days on Avini, he has not requested for me to massage anything. So I'm chasing him around the house one day, like, "Here, take these drops." And he's like, my mom was like, "Don't force him to do it. If he doesn't want to do it, don't do it." And then and she's like, "Is he experiencing pain?" And I'm like, "No, he hasn't had pain for 4 days, and I want him to take this Avini now." And he's like, his face was like, he stopped and he thought, and he was like, I haven't had pain for 4 days. And then now he's chasing me around for the Avini. So that, so that was like my testimony around my family, right? And one of the things that what I loved about becoming a part of the Avini family is the possibilities that it unlocked for me. By me being a medical doctor, I fell out of love with medicine. A lot of the politics medicine, about a lot of the diagnosing and not looking at the whole body as a part of the diagnosing. That made me fall out of love with a lot of medicine. And what being a part of a Avini family has opened up for me is this huge realm of possibility around the realm of taking care of people a whole body wise, where it's not just about a diagnosing of one thing. And that just like lit this fire in me, so much so that my brain just starts snapping and taking pictures of all of these things that's going on. So what I've been dealing with in my life is I had this infection in my face, in my sinuses, and these sinuses, and in my chin. I was hospitalized 2 times in the last year trying to get these, infections down. And it blew up again. And I was told to take nano silver spray. My mom was like, take this. And I'm trying a nano silver. Now, meanwhile, these infections take a lot of medicine, a lot of different antibiotics to take. And I wasn't on antibiotics at this time. I took the nano and I took it every day and for about a week. And when I went to go to the dentist to look at these sinuses, they were decreased. And he said, oh, you're on antibiotics already. And I said, oh, no, I'm not. And he said, why? Well, your infection is decreasing. And I said, oh, yeah. And I left it at that. But that was like one of the other things that it's my body is allowing my body to fight infections or things that's going on that I wasn't, no extra work for me, right? And then the other thing that's like one of the things that I love about, or that I discovered when I went to the summit. I call it a summit, but it was the conference. I talked to a lot of people, and one of the things I noticed is that when people were taking Avini, they were taking Avini and they were like, oh, these products are awesome. I'm going to take Avini Cell Defender, and I'm going to take the mushroom, and I'm going to take the trim science, and I'm taking it all, right? And then they just go and they know the products are good, and they just take them all at once. And a couple of people experienced different things. Some people did well with doing that, but some people didn't do so well taking all of those products at once. And one of the things that my brain was trying to figure out why this was happening. Why is it that your body kind of like shuts down or, attacks you a little bit when you're, taking all of these products at once? And then I came up with a little scenario that helped me and my mom understand what was happening. And one of the things Avini as a cell defender does is it goes in our bloodstream, and then it's a nice little cage that attracts all of the toxins and the heavy metals, right? And it puts it in a little box, and our body can now recognize it and say, you know what? Yeah, you send you to the feces, send you to the urine. Okay, get it out, right? Get it out my way so I can really process and do my natural things. And pretty soon, when our blood is clean, the organs around who has all of these stock up of heavy metals and toxins, they're like, hey, it's clean out there. Let this stuff get out of my closet. Let's put you out there. And it's taking it out. And it's like, okay, cool. But if the lungs are doing it and the liver is doing it, and everybody's like, yeah, get it out your closet, they're spring cleaning, all of a sudden your body's like, wait, I got a cold coming down around. I got fever coming here. And it's like, it stops. Everything gets jammed up because the system wants to be at optimum. It wants to be at operating. It wants to be able to take care of the colds and the viruses that are coming in. And so when you're taking all of these beautiful Avini products and you're taking them all at once, your body is getting a little confused on all of that coming in. So one of our things is just, take the cornerstone, which is the Cell Defender, and take it for that first month to make sure your body's getting used to all those toxins getting out. Yes, and do another product, but also make sure you take your mushrooms because those mushrooms help your body like tag those zeolite cages so that they know this is okay to pass through. You don't have to let that back up. It's almost like a TSA line. You've been in the airport. Everybody's here been in the airport, right? So you're in the airport, you put your stuff on the line, it goes through, cool. But if somebody brings a knife or something that doesn't belong there, they have to stop the line, back it up. So if that knife is like the metals, the heavy metals or the toxins, right? And they pile it in there and they're like, okay, so this stuff doesn't belong. We don't know what to do with it, but it doesn't belong in the TSA. So we're gonna stick it over there. So why I'm saying that is because all of our systems are moving and fluid, right? But what we have to do is we have to take I'm sorry, I'm losing my place a little bit. Take those knives and the toxins and we have to get them out of the closets and wrap them in something so that we don't target them so they can slide out. So how that does that is the mushrooms target those things and wrap them and say, listen, these are okay. Let them flow out. Relax. It's okay. It's going to flow. So it helps the body process all of the toxins and don't activate or mess up your normal immune system. I hope that helps a little bit. Chip, you can jump in anytime on that one. But the other thing I wanted to say, go ahead, Chip, if you want to say something.
Well, my first thought is immediately after this talk in Texas and New York, I'm going to Idaho. And I'm thinking, okay, how can I get Dr. Nakita in my hip pocket to go over there? Because, she's saying everything and she's saying it differently. Mm-hmm. And it makes sense. She's putting it in her own words. I haven't heard the TSA line thing before. And I got to, one of the things, every time I see her, I think, okay, how can she have skin like that? And then she was talking about having these bacterial overgrowths in her sinuses. And I'm wondering, okay, was her skin that pretty when she was fighting the bacteria in her sinuses? Or has that bloomed since? May I ask that?
The nano silver, I sprayed it in my mouth and I sprayed it on my face, like on my sinuses and my face. So
well, something's working. You are glowing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You are glowing, and I appreciate what you said about the mushrooms too. So instead of like having an immune response to everything. Mm-hmm. So I like the TSA line too, what you're using that example to help us all understand, when and how, and start with the tip of the spear. What did you call it? The tip of the spear, the cell defender. Absolutely. That was the first thing I marched around with Craig in the hospital, which I was advised to also use the cell defender. Clean it up.
Clean it up.
Yeah.
So she was explaining this thing to me, right? And she broke it down. Now I'm gonna tell you, she should have sat down right then and wrote it all out, because it was like excellent. And because she told me, she's like, the immune system, when it sees all of this stuff floating around, like all of the cell defender is bringing all this stuff, it takes it and it's like, what are you doing? And it'll grab it and hide it inside of the fat tissues and hide it because it shouldn't be floating around, right? And then she's like, that's just like when you're in a TSA line and they're pulling your stuff from you that you have no business, taking on the airplane. And then she's like, and then she said, throwing it on, and she said, like, so the TSA is like, the zeolite, and it's helping you go through in an organized fashion, and they're going through. And then she goes, and then she threw in the mushrooms all of a sudden. And I'm like, well, what's the deal with the mushrooms? She's like, well, see, the mushrooms is to calm down the line while they're waiting. She said, because they're y'all getting upset? And it's just like the TSA line when everybody all of a sudden there's a block and everybody get all upset and they tired and they, making comments. But if you give them some mushrooms, they calm down and they wait their turn, So I'm like, oh.
For those of you that
Right.
don't know, Novella is her mom that wouldn't give up the goods. 'Cause we have
Would
some
not
guests
give up the
tonight,
goods.
Novella, so they're not sure, but you were the one that wouldn't give up the goods originally and share.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
and it's really interesting people's perception because that's not my experience. The way Nakita said, that's not my story. Carol will tell you, I came in Avini kicking and screaming, and the only way that I got the results is because when she told me, she said, just take it, just do it for 30 days, just do it for 30 days. And because I said okay, and I manage my word, I keep my word, I was determined I was going to do it for 30 days. And that was the reason why my kids was running around saying, oh, look at this and look at that. But I didn't notice anything. I wasn't noticing anything. And Carol kept asking me, what have you noticed anything? And I was like, well, not really. See, and what I distinguished was that, it takes you a while to get like this, right? And it's so gradual that that you're going 1, 2, 3 before you get up out of your chair, or you moving really slow, or you're trying to be careful. It takes a while to get there. And so as I was doing the Avini and my body was self-correcting, I didn't notice it because it was just having me feel normal. I was just doing the normal stuff. But it, like Nakita said, it wasn't until I noticed my memory came back. When I got clear and I got focused, I was like, I'm back. I was yelling around the house. And then of course I went and told everybody about it. But yeah.
And Novella.
That's when I told her about it.
Yeah. And Novella, what did you finish just recently?
What did I finish?
Uh-huh. Your book.
Yes. I just finished my book.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And I have to tell you that I am so in love with this stuff that, I had to stick it in my book. It's like, like I liken forgiveness. I said, forgiveness, you clean out your body, with forgiveness, just like these drops that the author is taking that that cleans all of the heavy metals out of your body.
I love it.
Thank you for sharing that very much. Nakita, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
So how's your son doing? Your son is doing well then.
Oh my God. Every day he comes to bug me for his drops. I said, do you know how much these drops cost? And he's like, yeah. Okay, how much do I need to give you? He's like willing to pay. Who 13-year-old want to pay for some drops? Okay, no problem. So he's talking to his tennis kids, and I gave him like a Avini, like what's that the one you told me to get, Carol?
The energy?
Yes, the energy thing.
The energy.
And he loved it. He loved it, so he wants to give it to his tennis people.
Uh-huh.
So yes, he loves it.
I love those energy shots when you're on a project. I do horse appraisals, and I had a horse appraisal recently of 19 horses that I had to do, and it was really intense, and it was during Craig's hospitalization. So it was pretty intense. It was for an estate, and you really have to focus. So that's what I do, lock myself in the room, put a sign on the door, enter at your own risk, and then do one of the little energy shots. And really the focus and the clarity, Novella spoke of clarity, absolutely. So on point for that. So yeah, I love those little energy shots as well for my focus. So anybody else want to jump in or have a question, ask a question, please feel free to raise your hand and we'll unmute you. If you have a question, Kelly King has a question, and then Suzanne, you're up next. So Kelly, go ahead. Let's unmute you.
Hi, everyone. When you say you did a shot, I'm new. fairly new to this, and I'm a month in, but I'm anyway. For you do a shot of the silver or the
Now,
paint.
we don't have a photo, do we? I thought we might have a photo in there. They're little Avini energy shots, and they're just, I can go grab one and show you in just a
Okay.
moment. But basically, they're, maybe I don't know, Chip, are they 2 ounces? Chip looks like he's grabbing one.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of them that just came in because I have a son
I
too.
can show you one. It's in my tummy here. I just swallowed it.
I just said too. I did one before.
That's
And
right.
I have a Nikita, I
There
have a
you
son
go.
also
Nikita
named
has
Nikita.
it. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
mine come in the door, and my son who's studying in school, he takes the box. And I say, "Come back here with that." And they come in a package of 3, and that's what he does. He takes the box and he goes and works on his schoolwork as well. So yeah, firm believer, and love those.
it gives you energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really helps. Like sometimes I'll do 3 or 4 Zooms in a row for like an hour to 2 hours on a Zoom, and I will put that in my smoothie and drink it. And I'm telling you, I feel great. I feel refreshed and more energy. So
Enjoy.
What's different
I
about
love it.
these is it's not like a typical energy, like caffeine or something. You'll
Yeah,
feel
no.
it's like these are completely natural. It almost feels like you're just waking up. You're just energetic. You've slept and you're just ready to go. It's not like something that's going to be so noticeable. It's almost like a gentle thing, which is amazing with the products.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no spike. You
No.
don't spike and then drop off. You just kind of get into whatever your work is or whatever you're trying to accomplish, and it's very level, but helps with focus. Suzanne, you have a question? I saw you raised your hand. Suzanne, you're muted. Oh, can't hear you. Suzanne, you gotta unmute.
Let me prompt her and see if she can find.
Okay, there she goes. Go ahead,
There we
Suzanne.
you go. Okay. In the beginning, the description was like let's see, another way to say things. And Nakita, you'll appreciate how when people complain, I have a pain, I am tired, I'm anxious, and then there's a pill for every ill, so to speak, because you're addressing that symptom. But when you look at the human body and how beautifully you described that everything's happening simultaneously, the human body deserves our intelligence support. And we give it intelligence support by getting at the root cause. And one of the root causes for everybody today is the abundance of toxins in the body. That's going to cause all sorts of problems. So I like how you described that. And when we recognize the beautiful design of the human body and what it's able to do when we give it that support, game changer.
Absolutely. Game changer. What do we say? Taking a shower on the inside, cleaning out the toxins and the heavy metals. Chip, do you want to jump in a little bit here? We need
Jim
to get
has his
Dr.
hand up.
Nicholas.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on. I'm gonna.
Oh yeah,
There you go,
Jim.
Jim. I unmute. I sent you a prompt to unmute. There you go. Hi, Jim.
Hi. So I got here through Novella, who I've known forever. And she said, oh, it gives you can think better. So I started taking it in, and I got to thinking a lot better and clearer. And my wife's been taking it too, Cell Defender. And then they said, oh, I talked to somebody, I think his name is Joe or something. I don't know. Ed, that's it. And he said, well, you should get the I had bought the nano, and then he said, well, you need to take the mushrooms and then the powder. What's the powder?
Fiber.
Fiber, yeah, the fiber and the mushrooms together. So I've been taking that. And then my question is that when should I take them nano, and how much should you take? And And but what I've noticed from taking the fiber and the mushrooms is that I have a little tendency towards diabetes, because if I eat a lot of sugar, then for a couple of days I'm up every hour, hour and a half, and I've been sleeping 4 or 5 hours lately since I've been taking the fiber and the mushrooms.
Oh, wonderful.
So, and I ate a lot of sugar last weekend, and I kept taking it, and it seems to clear it all up. But the question is, how much am I taking it in the right orders, and what?
Well, maybe that's kind of my little cue.
Uh-huh.
You have tremendous freedom, Jim. You're never going to hurt yourself. You can't really do it wrong. Maybe you could do it better. The most important things are to do it consistently over a long period of time. Any kind of hygiene is that way. And so the ability to take a shower now on the inside, people ask, how quick does it start? And I always say, well, the very first time you take the product, the next time you pee, you're peeing poison. So that's how quick it starts. And then the next question is, when should I quit? And I say, well, it's essentially hygiene. And so you should quit on the same day you quit brushing your teeth for the same reason.
Well, how much, when should I take the nano? Should I take like the fiber and I usually take the fiber and the mushroom in the morning, and then at night again. And then, and I haven't been doing anything much with the nano.
Yeah,
So.
well, the nano is safe silver, and it is when you feel like you have something that might be a living pathogen or parasite is what it's going after. And of course, we all have those.
Yeah.
And your tendency to go towards sugar problems is extremely interesting. It's part of what I'm supposed to speak about in Idaho in a little while. And what you're going to find, Jim, is that when you go into your doc to get blood work using this product, and by the way, sugar is poisonous. I am one of the world's foremost experts on growing sugar beets, I hate to say. I've hauled thousands of truckloads to a huge factory in my town where they make pure white crystalline drug quality sugar that'll kill people. The two biggest employers in my town are the sugar factory and the hospital. Guess which one is more powerful?
Oh.
It's the sugar factory, because it can supply lots of hospitals with patients. But what you'll find is that your blood work across the board, lipids, carbohydrates, all aspects of your blood work will come into line, and it's quite dependable. It's a remarkable effect, and it is it's evidence. When you go in and you can feel like you go to the doctor to show off instead of going to the doctor with fear in your heart, it's a completely different feeling. And I kind of liked what, when Nakita was trying to get her mom to tell her what she was doing, and her mom was using the takeaway. Sorry, Nakita, I can't tell you. It's a secret. That sometimes that's a lot more effective than spilling the beans. I'm sorry. Sorry, I can't tell you what I'm doing. I feel like it's an advantage, and I don't really want you to come up equal to me right yet, that kind of a thing. But I love, across the board in the testimonies we've heard tonight, that mental clarity. And so when you begin to use these products, any of them, your mind begins to clear. And a lot of it is because the mercury that is literally dissolving the insulation on the tiniest nerves in your brain is leaving, and the outreach from one neuron to the other in your brain is being successful. You could look at what's happening on this call where we're making outreaches to each other and getting to know each other. Same exact things going on in your brain. And so you can probably feel the excitement and look around at the faces that, on the call tonight, and you see mental acuity and agility in the faces. And when you use the products, you get mental and physical acuity and agility. So I'm thinking about Dr. Nakita with their 6'2". Did I get it? Tennis playing son? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So when he takes Plus Energy before a tennis match, it should be as though the rush slows down. The speed of the ball, the speed of the player across the net, how quickly he can, choose a direction to go and respond. All of those things, that mental and physical acuity and agility. Next year will be my 65th summer in a row coaching water skiers. And when I give them, they just come and they go to the cooler now and get one out when they come out, and they take it before they get in the boat. Why? Because they have access to all of their mental facilities and all of their physical facilities, and it makes it seem like things are slowing down. The event we do takes about 17 seconds to go, through a slalom course, and to feel like you have a part of a second extra, to feel like you're not rushed is amazing. And of course, the same thing's going to be happening to you in real life or in traffic, that you can see what's happening and anticipate what's coming at you in situations in your life or in traffic or in social situations. You can anticipate what's happening. So that was a lot of stuff that I'm hearing that from you, and I'm just trying to reflect back to you what I heard, and that takeaway was a big thing. One other thing I got from Dr. Nakita, and I've always loved this, the first time that I ever felt that sensation is when you step out of an airplane in flight, your brain starts snapping pictures. And she talked about the brain snapping pictures of what's going on. That's you at super heightened attentiveness. You're taking pictures that you'll remember for the rest of your life. Your brain is snapping and catching those moments. And so for many of us, the moment of learning about this and joining, and then that moment when you realize that, oh my goodness, it is true. I had to say, when Novella said, suddenly I realized that my memory was coming, and that her term was, oh my gosh, I'm back. I'm back. That's a gigantic statement, right? That's a gigantic statement. And that moment of realization that, oh my goodness, I may have a hold of one of the most important things I've ever come across in my entire life. And it's applicable to me in every aspect of my life and to every person I know in every aspect of their lives. That's how big this is. It's not a little bottle of this for a little problem, here and there. It literally has to do with every person throughout their lives, and the way that we deal as a species with our health concerns and the problems of pollution. We're able to clean ourselves one at a time, even though we're polluted in mass. The best we have right now is this, which is an ability to get clean people one at a time. The pipeline through which the idea flows is you guys. Each time one of you gets excited, joins, says, I'm back, oh my goodness, that's me, I'd like to do that, then the pipe through which these ideas are flowing grows larger. And I love this group. It's super special to me. You guys invited me once, and I come back every week. I still get a kick out of it that you say that I'm a special guest. I don't know. I'm a routine person on this call at this point. But thank you so much for having me. You're so. It's a thrill to watch this happening, and thank you everybody that's new. For being interested in what we're doing here. It is a gigantic discovery of application throughout your life.
Thank you, Chip. We appreciate you always being with us, and you'll always be special to us. And you are a special guest every each night. Another question, Wendy. I see your hand up.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. It's so good to be here. I met Carol and Nakita in Dallas, and I've been on the call pretty much since learning about it then.
Wonderful.
And, I don't participate in many of the calls here on out. In the year and a half I've been with the Avini journey. But so many things reached me tonight. I'll say, Chip, first and foremost, your call, I think it was the Wednesday morning yesterday. Yesterday. You were mentioning a part of the placebo discussion, talking about sugar being the placebo of something else. And like, it's so interesting because yes, the sugar didn't harm the people in the placebo effect from your call, your talk, but it is the poison. I mean, you might have to clarify me from saying that here tonight, but that spoke volumes to me. It pricked my ear when you said it. Because we know how harmful sugar is.
Mhm.
I remember in the 60s when I was reading Sugar Blues by that actress. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't stick to the program with myself then. I don't have sugar problems today, but even still, I'm just sorry I didn't adhere to the megaphones given to me through reading, okay?
So
But
when are you asking Chip for the clarification on that?
a little bit if he wants to expound tonight, but it is on his call yesterday. If anybody wants
Yeah,
to,
we can watch the recording. Yeah.
yeah, the 11 o'clock Chip will call on Wednesdays. But I have to say now here, this is interesting. I met Nakita also along with Carol in Dallas. And wow, it's good to see you, Nakita, because you haven't always been on this call since I've come home on Thursday night. So I'm thrilled to have jumped on. I got home at like 5 minutes. I was on the phone at 7:35 talking with Pat Tracy. While this thing had already started tonight, and I prompted her to get on, and I think she's on now, but I wanted to get on. So it's a good thing I got on because Nakita was on tonight. And I have to say, when I listened to Nakita, that was fabulous. I loved the TSA story, but I didn't quite understand it. But then the woman who came on afterwards to describe it better, she pulled it all together like the icing on a cake. And I'm learning it's her mother. Are you kidding me? I thought she was your sister. No, no offense to Nakita or whatever, but kudos to your mother. But you look more like sisters. Okay. And then let's see what else is going on. I know I probably had much more to say, but maybe a personal note, but I think I've got off the rails a little bit here. But
That's okay, Wendy. We appreciate
I'm actually
jumping in
thrilled
and sharing
thrilled
tonight.
to be sharing live and in person. And Chip, I met you in person for the first time in Vegas in March of last year. And I told you when we were at the restaurant how shy I was and not to speak out, and everything's in me. I just need to get it out. And it's like, I thank you for what your words you said to me that day, because it's everybody's on their own personal journey, and it's like it'll happen, it'll come, it'll and tonight it did. And I thank this group for that, because it is homey. That's what we are. We're homey, we're not hype.
Yeah.
Yes.
Avini for that.
Thank you, Wendy. Appreciate you jumping in tonight. And we'll have you back. And
More and more, I
spend some
think
time
about
with
you too, Christina. I'm sorry I'm talking over you for a second there, but I'm a New Yorker. I know exactly the part of the world where you live in. I've spent a lot of time there. I knew Doug was going to be seeing you many months ago, but then your husband had the accident and all this. I know all this. So I thank you, and I pray for you all, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you for being with us also. So with that, what I'm going to do is just make some announcements and let you all know that Thanksgiving is coming. And so we're not going to meet next week, but I do have a special announcement. We do have Neil Roth. Neil Roth, our CEO, is going to be our guest on Avini Vibes November 30th. So this is the time when you're sitting around the Thanksgiving table and people are talking about their indigestion or they ate too much or whatever. Don't be shy. I want you to share with family members, share with your loved ones what we had the opportunity to learn more about tonight. Okay, very important. So share that around Thanksgiving. We won't see you next week, but we will see you again on the 30th. And let's pack the house for that, for Neil to show our gratefulness and our thankfulness for
Yeah.
the team that Avini has put together. A couple more announcements. I just want to let you know, April 26th and 27th, you know, the summit's coming up in Las Vegas. Get your tickets because there's early bird. Don't wait because that's coming up. Before you know it, it will be here April 26th and 27th. That's my daughter's 30th birthday. But I said we're going to Vegas, so she was happy to join us. So mom and daughter alike. Dr. Nakita, thank you for being with us
Mm.
tonight and
Thank
sharing
you
your
for having
story.
me.
And Novella, thank you for finally sharing it with her and being a
Yeah,
special
but it
mom.
sounds like you wrapping up, and I have a testimony.
Okay, go ahead. We got a couple more minutes. Go ahead. Give your testimonial, please.
So, so you know all of that, the first one, right? So a friend of mine, her 21-year-old daughter was found dead, and I jumped on a plane, and my Avini was coming like within the next couple of days, right? But I hopped on that plane because my friend needed me, and I went out to California. And so Debbie told me, she said, listen, Novella, don't worry about it. I'm gonna send your Avini to you. It should get there when you get there. Okay. Well, you know, she sent it US mail, and it didn't get there when I got there. And everybody was at the conference. Okay. And so I'm like, you know, anybody got any, you know, anybody that's in California? But I'm telling you, because here's the thing. At first, you know, it was okay, and it was the first day and the second day, and then I started, you know, like getting up slow, and I started walking like slower, and it was just like I was freaking reversing. And I was like calling everybody. I was like, you know, Ed, you know some people in California. I told Nakita, tell him, is there somebody I can run over their house and get something? I mean, I was like, I gotta find this stuff. And but so what I'm clear about is what I wasn't clear about before is, you know, because it happened, it was so gradual. I am clear that Avini works. I am clear that when I put it in my body, when I take it, you know, it pulls out I don't know what it's doing. What I know is that my body moves faster, that I can just get up. I'm motivated. I mean, I'm sitting there in the house and I didn't even want to wash the dishes for the girl. Okay. And because I mean, that's not even me. It's when you're taking Avini, you just motivated to do things. You feel like you can do it. So you just get up and do it. And I'm telling you, I noticed every single thing. So I got really clear. You know, at first I was like, I used to tell Kara all the time, well, I don't know, you know, yeah, I can see. I got back, I was like, so Avini work, and you all need to be doing this. And if you don't want to, you know, try it, that's fine. I'll go and talk to somebody else who wants to, you know, be healthy. I mean, I don't have, I'm not trying to persuade anybody. I'm not trying to tell them. It's just like, we have a hold of something that's amazing. Okay. And I'm still like surprised by it, you know, because it's like, how could it be something that's this amazing, like the government hasn't taken it over, and you know, like somehow it just seems like maybe somehow they just can't make enough money off of it or something. But I'm like, well, as long as I can get this, I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to keep putting it in my body. And I've been telling everybody about it. So I'm just saying.
Well, thank you, honey. Thank you for sharing that tonight. And because the company, as Neil and the leadership has chosen to use us or give us the opportunity, that's a better term, to go word of mouth, person to person. So that's why we're going to leave here tonight all known that we have a mission. We're called to this. Each one of us on this call tonight, we have a mission, and we have to do our duty, right? To, like I said, sit around that Thanksgiving table. Don't be shy. Speak up. and invite people to the call for November 30th when Neil is here as well. And also remember that these are all recorded and you can find them now. Rich Cotter, God bless him, another leader, has put them into the Avini Health training. So get onto the Avini Health training site and use those resources, learn and keep sharing, and we'll just keep growing this together. And I just want to say thank you for being here. Happy Thanksgiving and God bless each and every one of you. Carol, go ahead.
Yeah,
Then
I
we'll-
want to just share something because we have a lot of
Sure.
women. We have a lot of women on here. And guys, the nano silver gel. Okay, guys, there's a new way to use it, and it is on your face. I'm telling you now, I'm gotten rid of my $60 a month habit for my moisturizer, and I'm using the Avini gel now, and my makeup just glides on. It feels so good. You've got to try it. Knowing what's in nano silver, putting it on your face as a moisturizer, you can't lose.
Yes, you're right. Here it is. Like
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I am telling everybody about it. Hey, get it in you, on you, and out of
In you, on you, spray it. Right.
right.
Love it. Yeah. Thank you, Carol. Thanks again. All right, everyone, happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you on the 30th and invite your friends and family and we'll have Avini vibes, okay? Have a blessed
Bye,
night.
everyone. Good
Thank you.
night.
Thanks, Chip.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night.
Good night,
Great
all.
job, Nakita.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good job,
Thank
Novella.
you. Great job, Nakita.